Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here, Tuesday the 6th of November. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. The site's get free of charge by the adverts that you see around the screen here, and it's by you coming back and using the site and telling your friends about it that means we can put more adverts in front of you, and when you use the adverts, that generates revenue that keeps us all free of charge, so thank you for doing that. Of course, it's election day in the States, so we'll take a quick look at the election day weather, and also got a few interesting charts for you from the CFS going forward for the rest of the winter into the early part of the new year, which are quite interesting. When I put those together in a separate video, which you'll be able to click on to the featured video channel and watch those as well. Now, this is how things look for the States. We've got another storm tracking up the eastern coast just at the moment. Look, there it is. You see it developing here. This is the chart for 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, on Wednesday morning, and you notice how it tracks northwards. Look, getting into the New Jersey area by 9 o'clock tomorrow evening, and really bringing some very heavy bursts of rain to these eastern parts of the States, turning increasingly to snow on that northeasterly wind as we go through the course of Wednesday into Thursday. So certainly some excitement with the election, some excitement with the weather coming up as well. Temperatures out there back in the UK this afternoon, this is how things were looking, between about 8 and 11 degrees, so not a bad afternoon. 12s down these eastern coasts of Scotland, so really overall not a bad afternoon for early November. Temperatures around or just a little bit below normal across much of the central parts of the country, but around to just above normal across the north and the west. Now, this is how things look for this evening. This is the chart for this evening. You see outbreaks of rain across the country, most of these generally quite light. We've got a weak ridge of high pressure just building through Ireland, and it looks as if what's going to happen is that that ridge builds through during the course of this evening and overnight, many of us becoming dry, just bits and pieces of cloud and outbreaks of rain affecting northern and western coasts of Scotland, the western parts of Ireland, perhaps northwest England too, but for many of us plenty of cloud, but some clearer spells just breaking through. Now for Wednesday, I think a bright day overall for many central and eastern areas, some sunny spells coming through, always a fair amount of cloud but generally dry. Breezy to the north with some cloud and outbreaks of rain affecting northern and western parts of Scotland, western parts of Ireland, northwestern England as well, and it's those northern and western areas that see most cloud throughout. Generally though, for many of us, dry with some bright spells coming through, although as I said, windy in the north. And then heading overnight into Thursday, low pressure still close by to Scotland, and what we'll find is that that low drifts into the North Sea. It'll bring some outbreaks of rain, perhaps turning to sleet or snow over the high ground of Scotland overnight, and also I think we'll find some areas of showers just moving onto these western coasts. Many central and eastern areas though dry with some clearer spells coming through. And then through Thursday, well, a few bright spells developing through central and eastern areas. I think there'll be a mix of basically white cloud and sunny spells through these areas during Thursday. 1 or 2 showers affecting western coasts, and always more showers across the northern parts of Scotland. And then as we go overnight into Friday, we'll find cloud and rain affecting northern and western parts of Scotland, some of it quite heavy, some heavy rain for Western Ireland too by the time we get in towards Friday morning, and windy for northern and western areas, touching gale force across exposed parts of Scotland. Down to the south and the east though, you look through most of England and Wales, we're dry, got some clear spells, so I think a touch of frost here and there. And then through Friday, well, that front tracks its way southeast with some heavy periods of rain coming through Wales into southwestern parts of England and northwest England as well. Showers coming through Scotland and Ireland, some of them quite heavy, but I think the rain probably not arriving in East Anglia in the southeast and perhaps the Eastern Midlands until later evening. And then into Saturday, well, the front will be clearing away eastwards, although it may take some time. It could be that East Anglia and the far southeast have quite a wet day on Saturday. I think further west it should be brighter with some sunny spells and a few showers, more persistent showers affecting western Scotland and the western parts of Ireland. And then into Sunday, we get the briefest of cold snaps probably across Scotland, turning any showers to sleet and snow across the Highlands and the Grampians. Some showers as well for northwest England and western parts of Wales, but most areas sheltered from that westerly wind will be bright and dry and cooler throughout the course of the day on Sunday. And then into the latter part of Sunday, rain and some outbreaks of rain pass through Ireland. They'll be getting into Wales, western parts of England, western Scotland through the period on Monday, and then they'll track eastwards through Monday, leaving Tuesday to be a day of sunny spells and scattered showers, particularly affecting western areas, but I think for many parts of central and eastern England and for eastern Scotland it should be staying much drier. Now, just wanted to show you as well the total rainfall chart for the next week. Here it is. This is the total rainfall chart for the next week, and notice how we're still in this position where we're getting very little rain through these central east areas. This is the effect of that wind from the west protecting us. Look, we've got 10s, 11 millimetres through these eastern parts of the Midlands, eastern England, the southeast as well. More rainfall out towards the west, most of it affecting the far west of Scotland. Here we're looking at rainfall totals of sort of 30 to 35 millimetres, much more than that for the western parts of Scotland, but much drier look down through these eastern areas. Now, you caught a glimpse there of this chart. This is the North Atlantic oscillation chart for the next 14 days, which stays in negative territory, indicating that the westerly winds aren't that strong coming across the Atlantic. And if we look at the Arctic oscillation, it bounces around neutral levels. So I think temperatures pretty well staying where they are, where they have been for a wee while. But this is quite interesting. Look, from the ensemble, you see that fall off in top temperatures from about the 15th, 16th of November onwards. Look, we've got that fall off in temperatures, this gradual leaching away of warmer air. And if I show you the Canadian, the Canadian model, it tries to pick up on that idea that we see this gradual cooling off of conditions. This is the chart on the Canadian for the 6th of November. Now, if I just go through this, you'll notice how what we find is we get this succession look of ridges and then troughs following through the country. It's that kind of keeps temperatures where they are just at the moment. But this is interesting. Look, this is the chart for the 11th. Okay, so this is into this weekend. This is the first thing we need to watch, because if you remember, the GFS, which is the chart that we saw here, I said brings the briefest of cold snaps into the north of the country. Let's look at the chart for the 11th here. There we go. Look, see, if you follow the isobars back, this 1004, that goes into the Atlantic, but this 1000 millibar here comes in from the Arctic across Scotland. But compare that to the Canadian, and look, if we take this isobar down here, look, that one is coming from the Arctic too. So the Canadian is trying to bring in colder weather across the whole of the country during Sunday. So that's our first point that we need to note. This idea of a brief cold snap isn't settled. It could still be that cold air drains down across the country, and the GFS is good at picking these sort of things out. Now, it doesn't last for very long, look, because it then brings back in a west or southwesterly through Monday, so it's only short-lived. But then watch what it does. Look, here's a trough coming off the south of Iceland. Now, as this sequence runs through, watch what happens. Low pressure comes in around the 14th. It brings unstable and unsettled conditions and much cooler weather too. Also note this trough out here. So we then see this trough spin around, look, and a secondary trough form behind. Now, it might be that the Canadian is going a little bit too cold here. This is the chart for where are we, the 14th. So this is the chart for a week on Wednesday, which makes it much colder, very unsettled across the south, some really heavy showers here. I think wintry showers across the north if this chart were to be right. But then what it does, which is interesting, is it brings in this secondary trough through next Thursday. This is something, next Friday, sorry. This is something I'm going to be watching very carefully, because if this trough comes in here, so should that trough manage to swing through, what that could do is introduce much cooler conditions across the country, and then that backs up the idea of this slow decrease in temperature. So there's lots to watch out for there. I'm still of the opinion that the back end of next week is going to go cooler, and that cold weather could last into the week after next, and I wouldn't rule out the risk of sleet and snow showers across Scotland at that time. Big question marks on it, big question marks, but it's something we're watching. I'm going to update the Outlook video, so you can take a look at that as well in the featured video channel, which I think is should be that side of the screen. So I'm going to update that as well, and lots and lots to get involved with here, isn't there? But anyway, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to be kept free of charge by the adverts around the screen, by you telling your friends, and by you coming back and using the videos regularly. So thank you for watching weatherweb.net once again, and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.